The ultimate joke you need to tell her, Pooch, is, damn, those pants make you look fat. Boom. Now she's going to be like, what?
Stab.
No, I mean like fat, pretty hot and tempting, not fat. Well, I guess I want to ask you guys a question about relationship, right? Me and Pucho are married, obviously, and Mateo and Do, you guys are single. At your current age, right? What are your relationships that you're looking for? What are the goals that you guys are trying to accomplish with it? And for me and Pucho, we're married, so what more can we do in our relationship? Like, what goals are there for married men when it comes to like relationship? Like, what's the next step? Like, what can we do to spice it up? Type. I guess I'll start with maybe Mateo. Lead us off.
I don't know that I got a good answer for this, honestly, because I think that trying to define a relationship before you find it is a good way to get disappointed. Like, I think that that's being like, that now I'm going to get married. It sets you up for a lot of disappointment. I think it's you just, every relationship's unique. You just have to kind of see what they feel like and take it from there.
Nah, Mato, you're doing it wrong. You got to say, I'm looking for a woman who likes taking long walks on the beach, who likes to read No, I'm kidding.
That'd be rough, man. The beach is 6 hours away from me.
Then it won't work out for you.
Be a hell of a first date. Hey, let's drive 6 hours into the middle of nowhere for a bit.
Yeah, she'll be freaked out.
I could take you to the river. I could take you on down to the riverside.
But I mean, seriously though, like, what do you like, relationship wise? Like, I know you don't. Well, maybe not, but like, you guys want to be single for the rest of your life and just have partners here and there, or is it just like you kind of want to cozy down?
I am a leaf on the wind. I have no set thing. I don't feel. I've discussed this before. I don't feel the need to have like a kid to feel like my life is accomplished. I don't feel the need to get married to feel like my life is accomplished. I think that you need love in your life, platonic and romantic. I think that is a good thing to have in your life. For me personally, that's what I found gives me fulfillment. But whether I need to exchange a ring and vows or bring another kid into this world for that love to feel like it's impactful and lasting, I don't think I've got that necessarily.
Yeah, I think that stuff happens naturally. Like, you find somebody you love and you feel like, damn, I can see myself with you, and then you get married, and then it's like, damn, I can see us like bringing something into this world that's us, and that's how it should be. Like, I mean, how it normally is, I would say. But for the most part, if you can't, you shouldn't force it, just to, so you won't be lonely. But I don't know, though. How is it over there in New York, though? Because I know it's a fast life out there. But like, what's the dating scene out there like, for you guys?
New York. This is gonna sound really depressing, but with the amount of people in New York, you'd think dating gonna be easier. But the things could get very lonely in New York. And plus, we have the 4 seasons. So we're upcoming on this cuffing season, people like to say. And the reason they say cuffing season is because this next 3 months, you're going to be pretty much inside or just one place to the next. You're not going to be chilling outside. It's going to be very minimal people meeting. You know what I mean? People still go out in the winter. It's just we're all kind of in a shitty mood because of it. I don't know how to describe it. Everybody's just in a bad mood in the winter, and everybody's just trying to get where they're going to. So nobody's really paying attention to each other, and we're just really kind of assholes. But I think with my, I would say, dating history, I don't, you know what I mean? What I know what I don't want in a relationship. And I know the unhealthy aspects that led my other relationships to not go as well as they should have. Even if that includes me. Because sometimes you got to look at yourself and be like, am I the issue here? Like, what's wrong with me? That came from me like when I was 28. I started like kind of dissecting myself, and I'm like, there's some unhealthy aspects to you, buddy. I'm like, how are we going to fix this? And I think it probably just wasn't meant to be. If it hasn't happened now, maybe it'll happen in the future. Maybe I would like to have a child. I'd like to be in a relationship with somebody, but if it hasn't happened, it hasn't happened. But I already know on my salary, I can't have a kid and or a wife. Like, she's gonna have to be working as hard as I am right now on my salary. I'm like, I could barely afford the video games I want. How the fuck am I gonna put babies and diapers on a baby and shit like that?
You're kind of like surprisingly traditionalist with some of the things that I think you've said on the podcast. Are you like a white? Your ideal situation would be like you work, your wife stays home. Would that be like your ideal situation, or?
Not really. I don't mind if somebody. Here's the thing. I'm not looking at it. Maybe I should be, but I don't really look at the person for where they work at. Of course, I'd want somebody to have a decent job so that both of our incomes combined, we can make some sort of foundation. I don't know. We're going to start a foundation. You know what I mean? But, I'm not necessarily saying that I only am going to mess with college educated women. I don't really look at it like that. If you're a good person, if we're compatible, I think compatibility is like one of the biggest things. The sex is natural enough for me that it's never an issue. So I've never really had problems in like the sex area, or I need too much sex. Usually it's the woman I mess with that needs too much sex. So that's always been my issue. It's always been they want more than I want. But I think having some sort of goal system, or you have to know what you don't want, and you have to be able to call out red flags in a situation or a relationship. You got to call them out when they happen. You lie, you'll have to lie forever. If you check that shit right there, you checked it right there, and you never have to really deal with it again. I think in a lot of times in my relationships, I've always tried to.
Nope.
What's up with this guy?
I don't know. He's been rubbing his eye for like 5 minutes now.
I'm just saying. It looks like he's
What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
You okay?
Nah, sorry. It was an emergency call on my phone. So
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I apologize.
I'm sorry, dude. I just think you got to be on top of it, especially when you're dating people. You got to be very careful of not. For me, I just don't have a lot of energy to just be dating a lot of people and then just getting disappointed after disappointment. And I'm just like, I'll just wait until I can date somebody I'm very compatible with. Whenever that comes, it comes. What about you guys for like married people? What do you guys want out of your relationships after X amount of years being married? Like, what do you guys, between each other, do you guys talk about it, or does it just happen? Naturally.
First, Tony.
Yeah, I guess we haven't really talked about it. I mean, we're still new to this marriage life, and now having a kid, so it kind of not dampers the situation, but you don't have enough time for romance. I mean, there is time for romance, right? But it's kind of difficult. Like, if I wanted to take her out, we gotta set things in motion, to have our time, our me time, pretty much. Like, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, there's things I try to do. I try to, romance her throughout the day, even with Luca around or whatever. But later down the road relationship, like, I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people, their sex life, they always talk about, like, you're like 10 years in or whatever. It's like, you got to spice up the sex life because it's just, kind of just, all right, we're here to fuck and just move on. So, people, they do the swingers and all this shit. We haven't talked about any of that or plan on doing anything like that. But I'm just saying, like,
I don't think that's common, Tony. I don't think married people, when they get older, it's just a thing. They just become swingers.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that some people do that. They, they find out, this would be, we're both free to touch and do things with other with other people, and we're okay with it. People do that. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing.
My wife ain't about that shit. She
would stab someone.
If I broached the topic with her, like, hey, so I was interested. Shanked. I wouldn't even get the question out.
Yeah, it's not, like my wife's not really on that either, But it's funny though, because sometimes it's like you think about it, you be like, oh, what if we do like a threesome, or you add somebody into the mix or whatever. And most of the response that women give you is like, all right, yeah, two guys and me. Like 2 guys and 1 girl, and then the guy is always like, "No, 2 girls. What do you mean?" And me, like, it goes back and forth. It's like, well, if you want it one way, I want it this way too. We can work it. And then it kind of it's all depending on your relationship and how confident you feel with each other. Because if one is lackluster in that field, then you shouldn't do that, because that will cause a big rift and arguments and so forth. But spicing it up in other ways, just between you two, like you come home, she's got the baby. Someone taking care of the baby. You come home, she's in like a nurse outfit or a doctor's outfit or something, secretary thing. She's spicing it up, or she comes home and you got roses all laid out, a nice hot tub going.
Or you're in a secretary outfit or a nurse outfit.
Whatever she feels. Or I could be in that giraffe outfit that I had, and be like, hey, you wanna ride with the giraffe, baby? Yeah, you know what I mean?
These are things you do? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying there's things you can do. I haven't done that yet because it's hard, because I got a mother that lives with me. So it's like, hey, Patricia, just stay in the room for about 7 hours.
So is that your relationship goal, that you're planning to do these types of things?
Well, no, yeah, later on. It's definitely a goal, like, just to spice it up, because, it does get plain Jane at some point. But as of right now, we're good. But, a surprise here and there, to entice and excite your significant other is always good. You come home, you're laying on the couch, and then, hey, baby, what's up? She fix her ponytail up, and then boom, she goes to mopping. And that's like, oh, shit, like I'm watching a show and mopping is occurring. So it's just like, it's shit like that. Random shit will always spice up things. That's it. I don't know.
Yeah, ain't no random moppings happening with a 2-year-old running around the house.
No, yeah, you gotta put them in bed or something.
And we only clean after bedtime. Okay. So. Yeah, for me, it's definitely like I definitely need to try harder with keeping things fresh. I'm a very content person. Like, as long as like I got food, I have some form of entertainment and like TV or video games, maybe the occasional drink, and like, and I spend time with my wife, like watching movies, TV shows, and just kind of chatting throughout the day. Like I could be content with that in and of itself. Like I'm a pretty happy person. So like that, like, to me, that's cool. And I find that with other people, there needs to be more excitement than that. And that's, for me, stuff that I need to work on, is like trying to think of like, oh, let's go to this place or that place and blah, blah, blah. And it's a little harder to be spontaneous now. Like before, it'd be like, hey, you want to go out to dinner? And we could go out to dinner on a whim. But now, like Tony said, with the kid, it's like, nah, we need somebody to babysit, and we need, you need all this like advance notice to set all this stuff in motion. It makes it a little more difficult. But yeah, no, for me, I think that's the main thing that you need to work on, because like, at least me and my wife, we've been together 13 years. It's like when you're together for that long,
it's a long time.
It is. When you're together for that long, it's like you're now just so used to each other that you don't need to put in a lot of work. But then if you don't, then things get stagnant, and then you fight about random shit and things like that. So I definitely need to get better about like just making sure that I'm trying to keep things interesting, keep things.
What are some ways that you would keep things interesting, like an idea? I'm not saying that you've done it or not, but what do you think would be some good ideas?
Well, like for me, because like I said, I'm a very content person. I set reminders for myself, like, oh, like plan something, like just plan to do something. And those reminders help. So then I'll kind of look and try to find something, or I'll talk to my wife like, hey, like what's coming up, or is there something that we should do? And we've been, we took a trip to New York. We're going to visit my brother in Providence soon. Just like the other day, like I just, we went to the park with my daughter or something, and that was cool. We were just like us three spending time together, like shit like that. I think doing things like that help. And then I also think like getting a babysitter and doing shit on your own is also helpful. I mean, once you become a parent, so much of your life gets absorbed into the routine of here's the shit I could do in the morning, because then comes like nap time. And then here's the shit I do after nap time. And then we need to make her dinner. And then it's her bedtime. And then we put her down. And then it's, okay, now we get the few hours to like ourselves. And we could like, do what we want after that time. But it has to be in the house and not outside and blah, blah. Like, and you kind of go through that cycle. It gets monotonous, right? And it gets tiresome and all of that shit. So definitely just trying to have like the occasional babysitter and just like have some mental health time to just live your life for a little while. Those types of things help a lot, I think. But
do y'all still run into like communication issues in your relationship?
Oh my God, all the time.
Y'all have been together for so long, right? Like you both of y'all, like y'all have had some. These are long-term relationships y'all are in. Are there still communication issues? Have y'all resolved communication issues and now there's new ones that pop up? Or
yeah, there are still communication issues. There's some that are old, some that are new, some that were old and crop back up after a period of time. And I mean, it's like once you're together for so long, the communication issues become like, hey, I just thought that you would like this because like, I thought I knew you, and you really don't know anybody. No matter how long you're with them, people change. They like new shit. They want to do different things. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the arguments is like you perceive someone to be mad, so then you react a certain way, and then they react back, and then it's just a lot of misunderstandings. I don't say a lot. Like I don't fight with my wife like that. But you're just speaking specifically to the communication problems. It's typically like, at least in my house, it's a bunch of misunderstandings. I thought my wife was pissed off about something I said, so then I said something like an asshole, and then it turns out now she's pissed off, but she wasn't before. And then you gotta like walk through that entire argument, and then by the time you're done, you guys are both tired, exhausted, blah blah blah, and then you're like, man, really assuming this one thing just really caused like this whole fucking situation. And sometimes it's not like you sit there and you think and go, oh man, she's so mad, I'm now gonna, it's like it just happens, right? Like you just sort of react like an idiot. And then stupid shit happens. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think the main thing still is like, I still try my best, and you guys know best, because like we have similar arguments within our group when we're doing all this production shit. It's whenever someone does something that pisses me off, I try to take a second and go, okay, did they intend on pissing me off? Like, was their intent to like to offend, I should say? And if there isn't, then I'll just ask some questions. And even that doesn't work, because sometimes people get pissed off when you ask them questions. And that's something like, I don't know, I'm still trying to find the balance of like the best way to like get to the bottom and find like what is the root issue here and what are the solutions to these problems. Like it's still something I struggle with, like amongst my friends, with my wife, with everybody. Like, I mean, it's like the $1 million question, right? It's the solution to all marriage problems, right? Like, but I don't know.
I think some people like to like outwardly discuss like root causes of things, and some people would like to just do it on their own time. I mean, we run into this on the podcast all the time. Like you said, like a thing happens, questions get asked, and those questions in and of themselves are somehow triggering, even though it's just in your mind, it's neutral tone question, just like, oh, Tony, why did you say it this way? Or why were you asking this question? And it goes from there, you know?
Oh, yeah, it becomes an explosion. And then you're like, fuck, I didn't think that was a problem. Like,
It's definitely one of those things to where, like Pucho says, communication and knowing your significant other. But sometimes, like, I'll come home, I'm happy as fuck. I would say I'm happy. I'm like, maybe my face reads other, but Emily would be like, "Yo, are you upset? What's wrong?" Be like, "No, I'm fine. I'm having a great day." She's like, "Oh, you just look like you upset." I'm like, "I looked like I was upset." Oh, all right. I'll just smile some more. Like, I didn't know, because I guess I have a resting bitch face apparently. So it's like, like I come home and I'm happy, bro. Like I see my son, makes me happy. I see my wife, she's there. If she's not at work or whatever, I'm happy. And you know, so she looks at me sometimes. She'll be like, "Yo, you all right?" I'll be like, "Did I do something wrong?" And it's confusing at times, right? Because it's like, you've been with her for like 10, 11 years, and you're like, "Babe, like, how do you not know me by now? Like, how do you not know when I'm upset? Like, well, how can you not tell the difference? Like, you should know by now when I'm joking or when I'm upset." And there's some days like I'll make a joke and she'll be like, "That's rude," or she'll be like upset, like, "I was just joking. I wasn't being serious. Like, why are you upset?" But I guess she's upset about something else, or like it's just weird. Like every day is something.
That's
new.
another thing that still happens. Is like I'll make a comment or a joke that I think should clearly be perceived as a joke. And then my wife gets like mad at me, and I'm like, "Oh man, like I was kidding." And then there's like, "Were you kidding?" And it's like, "Come on, like I promise I'm kidding. Like you think I'm lying right now? Like you think like, yeah, it's I don't know. Like, is it like you got to work on your delivery of that joke?
Yeah,
like,
I'm
make
assuming.
it more clear that you're kidding, or maybe just don't joke about that topic. Or maybe you should have read the room. Maybe you could tell that she was like maybe in a bad mood, and making that joke is like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I don't know. Humans are complicated, and dealing with human shit is complicated.
Sure.
I like the idea of workshopping like joke material for your wife. Just put you over there like in front of the mirror in the room by himself.
They're just sitting there. Can I make this
Your
joke?
hair looks like shit. No, that doesn't work. Let me think. Ha ha ha! Your hair, and then you're like, "Oh fuck, okay, don't joke about the hair, okay? It's gonna be taken as a clear offense." And yeah, it'll be like I'll make a comment like that on the day that like she looks totally fine, and then it's like now I'm self conscious about like this thing that they weren't thinking about before, and then you feel like a piece of shit because it's like,
The
"Oh
ultimate.
fuck, I was totally joking about this, and now I feel like I've created a problem where there wasn't any."
The
Just
ultimate
trying
joke
to
you
get
need
a
to
laugh, you know?
the ultimate joke you need to tell her, Pooch, is, "Damn, those pants make you look fat." Boom. Now she's gonna be
Death.
like, "What?"
Stab.
No, I mean like fat, pretty hot and tempting, not fat. Like, you know, like those are things that you should never say, mind you. But I'm saying jokingly, if your wife has that sense of humor, you know. But yeah, subconsciously jokes make people think like, "Damn, like, do I look fat in this shirt?" Or "Damn, did I not?" Like, if I tell Doughboy, "Damn, you got a fresh cut," and then you come around 10 minutes later, be like, "Yo, who did your cut?" Like that question right there is offsetting. Who did your cut? Off rip, you're offended. Like, damn, my shit's fucked up. And you be like, they went a little too high. And then now secretly Doughboy's looking for a mirror, and he's gonna be like, "Damn, is that shit high? Did he fuck me up?" Like,
That shit can be devastating though. Like there's a lot of self-esteem tied into your friend, like your relationships, your friendships in general, right? There's even more self-esteem tied into a relationship with someone that touches your penis on the regular. Like their be are a little bit more weighty whenever they make jokes about your looks or something. They can be deep cuts.
could you imagine like well, I don't know, for me and Pucho is probably different from you guys, but could you imagine like you had sex with your partner or some chick you just met? Like, what's more devastating? Your wife telling you like, "Yo, like, game was weak today. What's up with you?" Versus a stranger saying, "Damn, you got weak dick." Like, what's more devastating? Some stranger telling you that, or just like your wife telling you like, "Damn, like, you ain't really hit it out the park tonight." Not saying that ever happened, but you know, you guys know when you're having sex, sometimes you nut first. You know, sometimes you go first. Sometimes you're just too tired, or you don't want sex. You just rather have head, or you rather just go and beat it off because it's just easier that way. Like, people have, like, Pucho shower time.
Don't ever say that one, Tony.
What, beat him off?
That's like the ultimate offense.
"Oh, I'd rather beat off
You
than
tell
fuck
a
you."
woman, "Hey, I
Yeah,
just
no,
rather beat
that's
off
beast.
today."
That's that Dave. That's the Dave plot right there.
That-
She's
he
like,
went
"We
to go
just had
fuck."
awesome sex, and now you're over here fucking this torso-less mannequin."
The mannequin.
Nah, fucking Damn. What were you saying about off days? Yeah, okay. I think it'd be way more hurtful for your wife to tell you that than some random person. Because after a while, your wife just becomes like your mom or something like that. In that, like, in the way that, like, no matter what you put on, your wife's going to tell you you look handsome. No matter what you do, they're going to typically say, oh, you're doing good. Like, it's a very, like, positive reinforcement type of thing.
Yeah.
So, like, so when my wife, when people tell me, oh, like my wife tells me, oh, you look so cute. To me, personally, I'm not a big fan of compliments as well. But when I hear things like that, in my head, I'm like, well, obviously, like, we're together, or like, obviously, like, because like you want me to be happy, so you're saying things that you think would make me happy, but because I think of it that way, they don't really do that. They kind of always just land like neutrally. But if you go negative with it, it's like, well, if a positive thing's a neutral, then a neutral thing is maybe a little bit negative. Like if someone's like, oh, it's okay. I'm like, well, what the fuck do you mean it's okay? Why don't you say what you really feel about it? You know what I mean? And then if they say it's whack, it's like, dude, this is a major fucking insult. Like, so I think the whole scale is like skewed. Like positive is neutral, neutral is negative, and negative is like you fucking hate me now.
Or even the
things. Yeah, my wife telling me my dick game is weak, like that. I'm gonna be coming with my A game. I'm gonna pop a Viagra or something. I'm coming for the kill.
You coming
right?
in for 5 hours strong, breaking her back out. She ain't gonna be able to walk.
Fuck some rando. I don't care about them.
But do you know what's the worst too is when they don't say no words. They hit you with one of these, like if yo, how's my outfit? They'd be like, but what the fuck does that mean? Can you use words here?
Is that what Emily said when you had the plaid shirt with the striped tie?
She was like, oh, that would work out. I like it. It's cute. I'm be like, all right, baby. And I just went with it. And at the end of the day, if my wife, even if, let's say she lied, but I don't think she did. What if she tell me like, no, you look handsome, you look good. Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. I don't care about anybody else's opinion, really. I mean, I'll take it in consideration. Then I'll sit back and think like, was that tie offsetting? Was it not? But I made the sacrifice knowing I didn't have ties. So all this going back and forth with myself, inner caballo would be like, all right, fuck them. They're haters. They wish they could wear this tie, you know? But I don't know. My wife telling me something's off or anything like that, yeah, that should be way more alarming than some rando that you just slept with.
Yeah. Another thing, and I think Mateo's mentioned it on a previous podcast, my wife has introduced this to me like years ago, and she kind of brings it up occasionally. There's like this thing called like love languages or something like that. I would actually suggest that everybody kind of looks into that. It's like a survey you go through, but it kind of like, depending on how you answer these questions, and it kind of tells you what you look for in the not so much what you look for, but what you like in interacting with the person and being in a relationship. And sometimes I get caught, like a thing that we all need to work on is not thinking that the way that we are is the way that other people are. So like me, I like quality time and spending time with one another. And to me, that makes me happy. I don't like gift exchangings. I don't like compliments. I don't like grand gestures. I'm not interested in those things whatsoever. Like, like someone does it, I'm appreciative because I'm like, well, they went out of their way to do something. Like that's cool, but it doesn't like, you know, it's not something. I'm not gonna be riding some high because somebody brought me flowers or something. You know, I'm gonna toss it. Like I don't like that type of shit too much. But other people do like those things, so you got to be mindful of knowing and understanding what other people are interested in. Other people might like grand gestures. So if you're with somebody that does, that's something you need to do in order to like make them happy or keep them happy and things like that. And it's just a problem that, like, you know, some people love gift giving and then they might want to give me a gift. And it's like, well, I don't like gifts. So like, just don't, you know, but to them, they've done this amazing thing. 'Cause to them receiving gifts is some amazing thing. So it's just like shit like that. You just gotta be, you know, in a relationship, especially like even amongst friends, but especially amongst like a spouse or a partner. You got to be mindful of the things that make them happy, and they're not going to be exactly the things that make you happy.
So do y'all still have goals in your relationship that are not tied into your kids? Because I feel like once you have kids, it almost shifts some of your relationship goals, where it's like now our goals are what we want from our kid. Like we want to, we want them to do well in school or something, like, or they express interest in like a sport and you want to support them and be there for them to encourage them. But do you still have goals for like your partner? Like we need to we're going to take a vacation and we're going to fucking party our way through Europe or something like that, or...
Yeah, for sure. Like we're still planning. Like before the pandemic, we were gonna go to Italy. Like before we had our kid, we went to Japan. Like that was one of our lifelong like trips that we wanted to do for years.
That trip looked awesome.
It was a blast. 2 weeks in Japan was super cool. And then we're just gonna try to keep that up. Like every 2 years, do some like big trip.
I like
because those things as well is, again, it's what keeps things going, keeps people happy, keeps things interesting. Yeah, I mean, like beyond the kid, I had a kid and I had a goal of like, I bought my new car because I was getting a kid. I was driving a clunker since high school pretty much until just like 3 years ago. And then I was like, all right, I got to buy like a decent car now. Like, but then like we bought a house, and that was like, of course, again, related to the kid, but it was also like something that we wanted to do is to have a house. So, I mean, there's still like goals that we have like as a family. I don't know if I'd call those relationship goals. I don't know.
Those are relationship goals. Like,
sure.
those somewhat like, buying a house, buying a car. Like one of our goals for me and Emily is getting a fucking jacuzzi tub. That's something we fucking want. We want a good sized jacuzzi tub because A, we like jacuzzi tubs, and B, it's like a relaxing thing too. You know what I mean? Like long day of work or a weekend night, we'll just sit outside, look at the stars, have some, I guess, drinks and chill in the jacuzzi, and do things in jacuzzi, have fun, massage, all that shit. They have all these buttons in them, It's like a bidet for your whole body. Put it like that. You're not really cleaning it, but you're getting all these forceful water projections or projectiles going to your body. It feels great. I don't know.
I think you might have just ruined jacuzzis for me. That sounds like like a bidet that you sit in the water afterwards. That sounds like the worst kind of bidet.
Yeah. But no, yeah. I mean, relationship goals. Everybody has them. Just got to talk with your partner and kind of go with the vibes,